Are you sure what's keeping you up all night is age? Are you sure a weak stream and those middle of the night awakenings are a fate that can't be changed? And if a single small habit could restore a continuous stretch of sleep, would you dare try it tonight? I'm Dr. Emily Carter, urologist, men's health. 15 years in the clinic have taught me that fatigue doesn't come from age, but from how we let a walnut-sized gland quietly decide the whole night. Today, I want to speak plainly, slowly, and kindly enough that you won't feel judged. Why an enlarged prostate isn't a verdict, and why very everyday changes, a glass of water at the right time, 10 minutes after a meal, a deeper night's sleep, can reshape the soft collar that's tightening around your straw. If these opening lines touch what you've been worrying about, subscribe so you don't miss the 14 night maps I'll send next. And tell me where you are on this journey. If it feels helpful, leave a 1 in the comments. If not yet, leave a 0 and add the word "ket." I read it so I can speak more accurately next time. No one is forcing you to believe right away. I'm only inviting you to verify night after night with changes you can measure the next morning. Now let's loosen the first knot. Imagine the bladder as a water balloon, the urethra as a straw, and the prostate as a soft collar hugging that tube. When you're young, the collar is soft and wide. Over the years, it thickens and tightens. With this image, you'll understand why the flow weakens, why sleep is broken, and also why the way you drink water, not just drink a lot, is the first gentle key to easing that collar open. Have you ever asked yourself how a walnut-sized gland can decide an entire night? Picture the bladder as a water balloon, the urethra as a straw, and the prostate as a collar hugging that tube. When you're young, the collar is soft, sliding lightly with each breath. As the years pass, it thickens and tightens, and things that once seemed random fall into a pattern. A weak stream, hesitation at the start, that not quite done feeling even after you've washed your hands, then the middle of the night awakenings that make the next morning feel heavy-headed. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, urologist. 20,000 hours in the clinic have taught me a simple truth. Most men aren't afraid of age. They're afraid of losing the right to sleep through the night, of trips planned around scouting for bathrooms, of no longer being in charge of their own rhythm. BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, sounds friendly by name, but its effects aren't friendly. The thicker the collar, the narrower the straw, the balloon has to strain, the bladder wall thickens, and the night is broken into short segments. This isn't a fate decreed by age. The thickening's pace is shaped by very ordinary habits, whether you sip steadily or dump fluids late, whether you stay slumped after meals or move a little, whether you let the body repair at night or force it to stand guard, whether your plate sends cooling or fiery signals, and whether the function designed to flush clean is still being run regularly. When the collar works with biology, the body stays quiet. When habit pulls it off track, the noise shows up as those nighttime wake-ups. I want you to look at a normal day as if it were a river. In the morning, the river is wide and calm. If you let it run dry until afternoon and then flood it at day's end, the banks erode. Your body is the same. Steady sipping is far kinder than a late deluge. After dinner, you stay put with your phone, blood flow pools toward your gut and gets lazy about the pelvis. But if you stroll outside just 10 minutes, you switch on the natural circulation pump without fanfare. At night, if you dim the blue light, draw the curtains darker, and keep the room cool and quiet, the body locks into repair mode where melatonin and growth hormone do what they're meant to do. By now, you may be thinking, sounds sensible, but what should I start with tonight so there's a different signal by morning? Don't make big promises. One small habit is enough to ease the collar a notch. And if you need a clear starting marker, it sits right in how you drink water, not a lot or a little, but on the right rhythm. From the water balloon and straw image, we go straight to the simplest lever you can measure immediately: water. The question to carry into the next part is, how long did I let my body stay thirsty today before filling it all at once? If the answer is too long, the collar had a reason to tighten. And with nothing more than changing your water rhythm, you'll notice the first surprise: fewer calls to get up at night. The pipes in your house stay clean, not because you open the tap full blast once, but because you flush them steadily all day. Your body is the same. At this age, men's thirst signals often fade. Many go through the morning, noon, into late afternoon before realizing they haven't really drunk anything, then pour down 2 or 3 glasses close to bedtime and wonder why the night gets broken into pieces. Concentrated urine is the body's way of saying, I'm being scorched. It irritates the bladder lining, makes the tissues around the prostate more sensitive, and gives that collar one more reason to tighten. Changing your water rhythm is how you turn down the heat before reaching for anything else. Start the morning with a glass of water before your coffee. That alone is like hitting the flush the pipes button after the night. During the day, don't let thirst lead. Use your daily clock to remind yourself to take in half a glass every 30 to 45 minutes. In the late afternoon, ease the pace. 2 hours before bed, stop topping up altogether. Urine color is your free dashboard. Pale yellow is the sweet spot, not crystal clear, not dark brown. If you live in a hot climate or work outdoors, add a pinch of mineral salt or a squeeze of lemon to one glass during the day to replace electrolytes lost to sweat. If you're fond of coffee, remember each cup is a gentle prompt. Balance it with half a glass of water. I once met Alan, 68, who thought he had no chance of sleeping through. He woke 4 or 5 times a night, and the frustration bled into his mornings. We didn't start with medication, we started with water. 3 weeks, just changing the rhythm, steady sips by day, nothing at all 2 hours before bed, and his nights dropped to a single awakening, then some nights none. What surprised him most wasn't the sleep, it was the lightness in his body, the calmer head, and no more midday nodding off. One small habit can return the body's entire feedback loop. You can try this tonight. 2 hours before bed, look at the glass and ask yourself, am I drinking this because I'm thirsty or because I'm afraid? If it's fear, give your body the chance to self-adjust. Don't forget, blood is the vehicle that carries oxygen and nutrients everywhere. When you're low on water, blood thickens, the heart strains, and the pelvis, the very region you're trying to support, gets less oxygen. Change your water rhythm and you switch the internal logistics back on. The emotional loop needs data. In the morning, write exactly one line. How many times did I wake last night? Is my head lighter or heavier than yesterday? No one is grading you. This is your personal dashboard. After 7 nights, you'll see a small curve inch upward. Not a miracle, just order returning. Now face the question many avoid. If I keep dumping water right before bed, what happens over the next 30 days? The blunt answer, you're training your bladder to call you, teaching the collar to tighten, turning a small habit into an invisible alarm clock. Stopping at the right time doesn't kill the day's romance, it saves the night from shattering. And if you want to feel changes faster, pair water with movement. Water repairs from the inside, walking repairs from the outside. When the two keep time together, the collar has fewer reasons to make noise. Next, we'll move to the second simple lever, walking not to count steps, but to pump blood to where it needs to go. If keeping silent tonight makes tomorrow heavier, who are you staying silent for? For fear of touching a simple truth that your water drinking habit is waking the whole household, or because you've forgotten the person beside you wants to sleep peacefully with you? If a single small decision could switch off the invisible wake-up bell, will you dare to tell yourself, starting tonight, I'll stop drinking 2 hours before bedtime and let my body prove it? And if you change nothing, what will worsen first, the body's flow or the fragile temper of your mornings? Slip these 3 questions under your pillow. Your body will answer with a less fragmented night. Right after a meal, blood rushes to the stomach like an audience pouring into a theater. If you sit still, the lights in the pelvic rows dim. Just 10 to 15 minutes of slow steps on the porch or around the block can flip the switch for those seats. Blood, oxygen, and nutrients move downward, and the tissues around the prostate get what they need to swell less and feel less irritable. You don't need special shoes or a step counter, you need timing. After lunch, after dinner, 1 loop around the block or, on stormy days, up and down a hallway, in a mall, around the living room. The goal isn't fatigue, the goal is circulation. I remember Robert, 71, who loved his evening TV shows so much, he treated them as a nightly reward. He woke 3 times a night, his face crumpled like a wadded sheet of paper. We didn't touch his entertainment habit, we just built a bridge onto it. Watch after you walk. 10 minutes around the block. In 2 weeks, his nights fractured less. In a month, he began to say he felt a little younger. There's no miracle here, just pumping blood at the right time to the right point species. Walking after meals gives you a bonus few mention. Steadier blood sugar, sugar that surges and dips like waves fans a low simmer of inflammation, and that flame blows on an already thickening collar. When muscles use glucose right after a meal, insulin doesn't have to strain, and inflammatory signals quiet down. If you're used to eat then sit, try swapping it for eat then walk and then sit. Everything else, TV, newspapers, your phone, will feel sweeter once the body's been pumped. Tonight, when you put down your chopsticks, try standing up 5 minutes earlier than usual. Step onto the porch and listen to the wind. Walk to the end of the street and back. If it's raining at dinner time, listen to the rain and walk indoors. From the window to the kitchen counter, from the counter back to the sofa. When you return to your seat, you'll notice your heartbeat is steadier and your head has a little more white space. Tomorrow morning, add a new mark to your note. Walked after dinner? Yes, no. 7 yes lines in a row will tell the story without any explanation. Walking after meals doesn't compete with what you love. It makes those things more pleasant. And once your water is paced properly and your legs are pumping at the right moments, you'll notice something few say out loud. The body needs its flush clean function to run as designed. In the next section, I'll talk about what many are reluctant to mention, a natural habit that's been misunderstood, and why done correctly, it's a pressure relief letter to that collar around your straw. Some functions are made to run, not to stockpile. The prostate isn't a silent storage tank, it's a transit station, designed to produce, hold, release. When that rhythm stalls for too long, secretions back up like water sitting still in a garden hose. The pungency rises, residue clings, pressure builds quietly. The body signals with a vague fullness in the lower region, a slower stream, a nameless discomfort. What we need isn't a performance, but the restoration of a gentle, safe circulation, consensual and within both people's comfortable limits. Many men hesitate out of age-related self-consciousness, after one offbeat moment that makes them stick a label on themselves. No longer a fit. I want you to change the story. The goal here is function, not achievement. One smooth, unforced release is a message to the gland. We're still operating as designed. When that rhythm is regular, intragland pressure eases, blood flow to the pelvis is less sluggish, and nitric oxide, the vessel opening molecule, gets cued again by the body. If you're in a relationship, make the invitation as light as asking for a walk. Let's give our bodies a slow, warm, no expectations window, just to be a little closer. If you're on your own, the principles are the same. Gentle, brief, never forced. Keep things clean and respect your own limits. I remember Mark, 67, who had shut every door to intimacy, thinking it would be less trouble. He came in with a knot of tension in the perineal area and fractured sleep. We didn't conjure miracles. We simply suggested he return to a gentle release rhythm 2 or 3 times a week, in a clean, warm, pressure-free setting. 2 months later, the tension eased like clouds parting for sun. He said he slept deeper and felt lighter. You don't have to take my word for it. You can let your body prove it. Tonight, if it feels right, choose a short, safe, expectation-free moment, then ask yourself in the morning, is anything different from yesterday? When the answer is yes, even a little, you'll know you're heading the right way. We always keep one handrail of principles: consent, hygiene, kindness. If there's any suspicion of infection, if there's burning or pain, if you have mouth sores from another habit, step back, choose a different route, or wait for the body to heal. Intimacy doesn't disappear because of a night's pause. It lasts longer because it's respected. And once circulation has been reminded, let's send the gland some cooling letters from the plate each day, so the inflammatory fire has fewer excuses to flare. Each meal is a signal. Some meals carry a cool breeze that soothes the pelvic region. Others carry heat that gives the already tightening collar one more reason to contract. You don't need an elaborate menu, you need one easy rule. Give your body more cool tones, less burnt smells. Cooked tomatoes deliver readily absorbed lycopene like a cleanup crew clearing away stray oxidants. Watermelon, pink grapefruit, and other red fruits remind the blood to flow evenly. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, work quietly in the liver, loosening knots of excess hormones and helping the inflammatory baseline lower its voice. A pinch of pumpkin seeds, a serving of fish, a handful of nuts enrich zinc for cell structure and balanced endocrine signaling. On the plate, picture a traffic light. Half the plate, the green of vegetables. One corner clean, gentle protein. The other corner, wholesome starch, brown rice, potatoes. Drizzle a streak of olive oil like a warm ink stroke. What you need to avoid isn't every pleasure. It's the concentrated heaviness of deep-fried foods, the harshness of processed meats, the steep slope of fast sugars that make insulin sprint while inflammation stands by and laughs. I once met George, 72, who set himself a tomato rule. Every meal must include something red or green. 6 weeks later, he said his stream was tidier, his labs more stable, and he spent longer at the produce aisle. There's no miracle here. There's consistency long enough for the body to trust. If you're asking where to start, begin with tonight's dinner. A warm bowl of tomato soup, a plate of lightly stir-fried greens, a mild pan-seared piece of fish, a potato or a bit of brown rice, just enough to remember it. Dial back the salt so your tongue can hear the true sweetness of the vegetables. Drink water on the right rhythm from the previous section, then take a short walk after the meal. Tomorrow morning, your note line will gain 2 small words: headlighter. And as day joins day, those small words will weave a story bigger than any advertisement. We're missing just one more link to bring the cord to the right tension: sleep. Without the night workshop, all the daytime signals are only an army not yet moved forward. We'll dim the lights, lower the noise, cool the room, and invite the body to do its work. No one can do it in its place. By day, we stack bricks. By night, the body builds the house. In sufficiently deep sleep, the invisible workers, melatonin and growth hormone, walk through every strand of tissue, quieting silent pockets of inflammation, patching worn places, and resetting hormonal rhythm. When the night is torn into pieces, the project is left unfinished, the workers grow tired, and the next day has to rebuild from scratch. It's no coincidence that peaceful nights bring a cleaner flow and a temperament less quick to irritate. Give the room a chance. Keep it cool enough that the bedding wants to be hugged. Draw the curtains dark enough that your eyes want to close. Turn off screens an hour before bed so the brain stops being fooled by artificial light. Coffee and heavy meals should be matters for the morning and noon. Night is the time for lightness and quiet. Your water rhythm, stopping entirely 2 hours before sleep, is the gift you give your bladder so it stops sounding the alarm. I've seen men who, after doing just those 4 simple things, cool, dark, quiet, stop water, come back and tell me their mornings suddenly have a hint of green. They don't spring out of bed like in their 20s, they open their eyes without a sigh. And when the night is returned to its repair function, those 5 habits knit into a net that lifts you through tiring days. Tonight, before turning out the light, try saying softly to the room, "Please ease me." The sentence has no magic. It simply helps your hands remember to draw the curtains, your feet remember to slow down, and your heart remember to set down the needless noise. Tomorrow morning, if you got up 1 time less, don't celebrate too loudly. Just smile and write it down. Many small smiles make for a lasting change. And because every road needs signposts, we'll pass the red flags. Times when you shouldn't fix things yourself, when another craftsman needs to join in. That isn't losing, it's knowing where to stop so you can go farther. There are days you need a garage, not because the car is broken, but because a long journey needs an inspection. If your urine suddenly contains blood, if you have pain, fever, chills, if your lower abdomen feels tight and you can't urinate despite the urge, if your weight drops quickly for no reason, if new symptoms flare after a quiet spell, those are times when the local handyman should yield to the specialist. An appointment doesn't make you weaker. It gives you peace of mind so those gentle habits can work where they should. You can prepare for the visit as you would for a trip. Write down how many times you woke at night, when you drank water, your recent meals, the medications you're taking. Those details are the map that helps the doctor take the right path. If the doctor suggests tests or investigations, remember this: knowing doesn't kill romance, knowing saves the night from being broken apart. And once the professional work is done, you return to the simple things that prove their worth night after night. I always tell my patients, you're not walking alone. The small sentences at home, the small habits on the plate, the small steps after meals, the small chimes before bedtime, they all stand on your side. And to bring them into line, we need a simple map visible after 7 to 14 nights. We don't need oaths, we need a pencil. Each night, 50 minutes before sleep, turn off the screens, pour a glass of water if bedtime is still far enough away, take a slow walk if dinner just ended, say one honest sentence to the person beside you or to yourself. Each morning, write exactly 1 line. How many times did I wake last night? What's different this morning compared with yesterday? If you can, add a tiny mark for the sensation down below. Light, same as before, heavy. 7 lines will tell you a straight line story, 14 lines will show you a curve. If you stumble for a night, there's no need to blame yourself. A good map isn't good because it has no erasures, but because the erasures made room for a better route. The emotional loop needs gentle patience. Do tonight, measure in the morning, write, adjust, repeat. By the 7th night, choose a small reward, a cup of tea, a piece of music. By the 14th night, choose a pocketable line. I can. Let me know in the comments. If you start tonight, leave a 1. If you're still snagged, leave a 0 and write the exact word ket. I read so that in the next video, I can speak more accurately to where you are. The most beautiful map is the one that fits the terrain you're crossing. I'm only the one who reminds you not to put down the pencil. Adults don't need slogans. They need words put in the right place. Before intimacy, a sentence like a hand on the shoulder. I want us to be comfortable and at ease. Let's agree on a few small habits. Warm showers, water on the right rhythm, a walk after meals. When you need to talk about testing, don't name suspicion. Name peace. Let's treat it like an annual blood pressure check so we both can feel at ease. When smell or taste changes, don't let your face speak for you. Let a suggestion speak first. This afternoon, let's drink a bit more water and have some fruit before dinner. Kindness has a very low volume. It sounds like a door softly closing, like a steady drip of water. When you speak those lines, no one loses. Both of you stand on the same side against fatigue and misunderstanding. A relationship doesn't endure because of technique. It endures because two people are tired enough of wrong guesses to choose the truth. And once the truth is spoken, you'll find every health instruction becomes doable, no longer a strange pamphlet. We've covered the foundation. If you want a first nudge to feel a difference soon, I have a very short route. 3 days, enough for the body to hear you calling. It's not a challenge, it's an invitation. Day 1. Give the whole day to your water rhythm. Sip steadily through the morning and midday. Shut off fluids completely 2 hours before bedtime. That night, draw the curtains, turn off the screens, lower the room temperature. The next morning, write your first line. Day 2. Add a 10-minute walk after each meal. If it's raining, walk indoors. If home is small, pace the hallway. If you're at work, walk the parking lot before you drive. That night, let your plate lean red and green. Go light on salt, keep water on the right rhythm. Day 3. Keep 2 good things from the day before and add 1 honest sentence to the person beside you. Let's give our bodies a chance. That night, sleep in a cool, quiet, dark room. 3 days won't change your life. They only change the direction. When the wheels return to the right lane, in 7 days, you'll know the sky ahead can hold more colors. Alan is a water story, from 4 or 5 night awakenings down to 1, then some nights none because he stopped dumping water near bedtime and learned to sip steadily. He said his midday irritability was gone. Robert is a footstep story, 10 minutes after dinner, just that, and he felt his body a little younger, like a garden tree watered at the right time. Mark is a natural flow story, when the flush, clean rhythm was restored, the vague pelvic tension eased, sleep sealed up again, and closeness returned without fanfare. These 3 stories aren't to claim credit. They're to show you that each person has his own slope, but the pedaling is the same, gentle, steady, patient. Understand biology to fear less. Speak truth to guess less. Get tested to reduce risk. Be kind to keep from drifting apart. Do 1 small thing tonight. Measure 1 small change tomorrow morning. Repeat long enough and inner order will return as a habit. If you forget, open the notebook. We'll look at the short little lines written in your own hand. And remember that no one else can do that for you. We'll stitch everything together in the conclusion. It isn't a send-off. It's a reminder to slip into your pocket before lights out. A sentence short enough to remember, strong enough to act. Unlike channels that sell miracles, here we simply point you back to a flat road for getting through the night. Water on the right rhythm, steps at the right time, release as designed, an intentional plate, and sleep deep enough. Alongside that come red flag signposts for when you need a garage, and a 14-night map to see yourself change. You don't need to be 20 again, you just need to reclaim agency over your body. Tonight, choose 1 small thing. Tomorrow morning, write 1 line. Repeat it long enough, and calm will become a habit. If what I've said helps untangle things, subscribe so you don't miss the 14-night map and the next video on fixing hydration mistakes and pelvic floor exercises for men over 50. If you're ready to start, leave a 1 in the comments. If you're still stuck, leave a 0 and write the exact word ket. I read it so I can speak more precisely next time. Let me borrow a line for your pocket. We are what we repeatedly do. When small things repeat long enough, the night will grow shorter and the morning will lighten by half a beat. Unlike channels that like to sell miracles, here we simply point you back to a flat road for getting through the night. Water on the right rhythm, steps at the right time, flush, clean, as designed, an intentional plate, and a room where sleep truly repairs. What sets this channel apart isn't rallying cries, but a small map you can do tonight and measure tomorrow morning. A kind, slow, but steady journey so the collar stops tightening and you reclaim agency over your body. If you want to start right away, tonight you only need to choose one small thing. Stop fluids 2 hours before bed, walk 10 minutes after a meal, or write one line when you wake up. Repeat for 14 nights and you'll see your own progress curve. If this content helps untangle things, subscribe so you don't miss the 14-night map and the next video on fixing hydration mistakes and pelvic floor exercises. Leave a 1 if you're ready to begin. Leave a 0 and the exact word "ket" if you're still stuck. I read so I can speak more accurately next time. Let me borrow Marcus Aurelius for your pocket before lights out. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The night will grow shorter when you choose one small thing and do it steadily. Slowly but surely, tomorrow morning will be half a beat lighter.